Using Universal Design in Special Education. In this presentation, I'll be diving into Universal Design for Learning, UDL, and how it can help fellow educators incorporate technology into special education. I'll break down what UDL is all about and share the three key principles behind it. I'm excited to take this journey with you and hope you find it informative. Explaining UDL. Universal Design for Learning builds in a personalized learning by offering ways for teachers to eliminate obstacles to learning. This is done by giving students flexibility in the materials, methods, and assessments they encounter. This is from Meyer, Rose, and Gordon, 2014. While UDL was first aimed at students with special needs, the truth is the more adaptable you are with your teaching strategies and the resources you use, the better you'll meet the varied needs and preferences of all your students. And this comes from Technology Integration for Meaningful Classroom Use, a standards-based approach, third edition. Now we will look at the three principles of UDL. Multiple means of representation. You can start by following the first principle of UDL guidelines, which is all about implementing teaching strategies that help with recognition networks. One great way to do this is by offering various means of representation. This means presenting information and content in different formats and through various media. For instance, you could provide multiple examples that engage different senses and emphasize important features in different ways. This might include using labels and arrows on charts and diagrams, highlighting text physically or verbally, or verifying font, colors, sizes, and styles within your materials. Additionally, you are further support recognition networks by letting students use different media and formats to access information, practice their skills, and show their understanding. It also helpful to give some background content for new information or skills. And this is coming from Rose and Meyer, 2002. Multiple means of action and expression. One of the key ideas behind universal design for learning is called multiple means of action and expression. It focuses on giving students different ways to show what they know and can do. Instead of sticking to just one method, it's all about providing a range of options for students to interact with learning materials and share their understanding. This relates to the third principle of the UDL guidelines, multiple means of engagement, which emphasizes offering various ways to engage. Providing choices can boost motivation, engagement right from the start, and help maintain interest throughout a project. Choices can also extend to how students are rewarded and the environment in which learning comes. Additionally, motivation and engagement can be further enhanced by explicitly teaching self-regulation strategies and encouraging self-regulation, enabling students to keep track of their actions and gauging their progress towards learning objectives. Again, this is coming from the technology integration for meaningful classroom use, a standard space approach, third edition. Next, we will talk about how UDL is a proactive approach for teaching and learning. Universal design for learning is basically a framework for education that makes access a key principle instead of just a nice extra. This proactive approach helps not only students with disabilities but also enhances access for everyone. Students keep showing that UDL has a positive impact on, studies keep showing that UDL has a positive impact on students' persistence, retention, and satisfaction. And this is from Roberts 2011. While some UDL methods might be simpler and low tech, using digital and apps really offers the most flexible when it comes to planning, carrying out, and accessing learning activities. Some even agree and successful UDL implementations relies on technology. Audubon 2010. Compared to the old days of print and analog media dominating classroom, digital content is so much easier to create, adapt, store, catalog, search, and link together. Practically, anyone can do it. With user-friendly software and hardware, both teachers and students can gather information in all sorts of formats, make it more accessible, tweak it, or even create new content to show off their understanding or skills. By sticking to the UDL guidelines, you can design instruction and assessments that truly cater to the diverse needs of your students. Isn't that wonderful? And again, we're coming from the technology integration for meaningful classroom use, a standard-based approach. Now, next we're going to go to minimizing learning barriers and how UDL minimizes this and how it creates opportunities for equity and in our instructional setting. So UDL expands on the idea of personalized learning by pushing it even further. It encourages teachers to remove barriers to learning by providing more options in resources, methods, and assessments that they use. And this comes from Meyer, Rose, and Gordon in 2014. Originally created for students with special needs, this approach promotes flexibility in teaching strategies and materials, which can better support the diverse needs and preferences for all students. Sticking to just one resource like a printed book can be tough for some learners. That's where UDL comes in, aiming to break down those learning barriers and obstacles. Sure, there are certain skills tied to specific media. Example, like dribbling a basketball or hitting the C minor scale on the clarinet, where the teaching method might not be flexible. But for many academic goals, especially in major subjects, there's usually a lot of wiggle room to choose various resources to help students acquire the knowledge and skills necessary to meet the learning standards. Coming toward the end, the next slide we're going to talk about and explain how technology might support UDL in an instructional setting. While UDL might use some low-tech methods and materials, digital tools and apps really offer a lot more flexibility. When it comes to planning and you carrying out and evaluating learning activities, in fact, some argue that having technology is key to making UDL effectively. Unlike the old days when classrooms were filled mostly with print and analog materials, digital media is way easier to create, adapt, store, organize, search, and link up. Anyone can do it. I promise you, anybody can do it. Even the people that say they can't. I'm just throwing that in there. With just some common software and hardware, teachers and students can access information in various formats. It can be made understandable or even create new info and media to show off their learning skills. If you stick to UDL guidelines, you can design lessons and assessments that really cater to the diverse needs of your students. And in conclusion, Universal Design for Learning, UDL, is basically a forward-thinking approaching in education that aims to including everyone. It does this by providing different ways to present information, engage with it, and express understanding, which helps cater to the varied needs of students. By reducing obstacles to learning through adaptable, accessible design, and making good use of technology, UDL creates fair chances for all students to thrive and show how powerful inclusive teaching can be. Teachers are encouraged to embrace UDL. Principals right from the beginning to build classrooms that truly welcome all students. By applying the three main principles thoughtfully while incorporating technology, they can create learning experiences that enable every student to access the content, show what they've learned, and take part fully in their education. I thank you for listening.